In a world where people who were so afraid to go outside at night in fear of demons that roamed the land, there were people who devoted their lives, though, to slaying those demons. This story is about just that. A boy by the name of Tanjiro Kamado normally was born to a family that was later on to be killed, but this time the story did not turn out this way. Tanjiro was just a baby, and his family sought for him to have a better life, a way of life that they knew he would be protected. His father reached out to a man by the name of Urokodaki and sent his son away. Before he was sent away, though, he gave Tanjiro a pocket watch to wrap around his neck. "My son, you will soon be the one to make peace in this world." The child was then taken away by a man with a red mask. Just days later, that family was murdered in cold blood by an unknown demon. Tanjiro then grew up with Urokodaki, and around the age of 5, Tanjiro saw 3 disciples of Urokodaki set off to the final selection. All 3 of them treated Tanjiro like their younger brother. Their names were Giyu, Tomioka, Sabito, and Makomo. They promised him that when they finished the exam or the final selection, they would be back before they left on their journeys. Time passed by, and Tanjiro waited, but only one of them came back. Tomioka came back and told Tanjiro how sorry he was, but Sabito and Makomo would not be coming back. Urokodaki, not visibly sad because of his mask, but who knows how sad he truly was behind that mask. Giyu then set off on his journey, telling them both that he will do his best to be safe, and he wants to make this world safe for Tanjiro and everyone else. He leaves, and Tanjiro is now with Urokodaki on his own once again. "Urokodaki, when I grow up, I want to be a demon slayer. I want to protect people like Big Brother." Urokodaki, under his mask, smiles and tells Tanjiro that he is too young currently, but when he is closer to their age, he will train him. "Tanjiro, I want to show you something." Urokodaki pulls out a pocket watch. "This was a family heirloom that was passed down to you when you were just a baby. And I told myself when you made the decision that you either wanted to or didn't want to become a demon slayer, I would give it to you." He puts it on Tanjiro, and it begins to glow for a split second and stops. Tanjiro asks what happened, and Urokodaki tells him that he isn't sure either. Throughout the years, Urokodaki would teach Tanjiro the basics of swordsmanship, but in a safe way because he was still very young. But when he turned 13 is when the true training would begin. Tanjiro was sent off to the top of a mountain. "Okay, Tanjiro, now all you have to do is make it down this mountain before the crack of dawn. Good luck." Urokodaki leaves, and Tanjiro begins running down the mountain, but realizes that traps are everywhere. He smells various disturbances that would occur and continues to dodge them, until he doesn't realize a log swinging towards him. For an instant, the log stops though, and he sidesteps out of the way. Now making it down the mountain, Tanjiro is just in shock. "Impressive, kid. You made it down very easily." Tanjiro then tells Urokodaki that something isn't right, that he should have been put out of commission by that log. "Why did you stop the log, Urokodaki?" "Kid, I didn't stop anything." Tanjiro then asks why did the log stop for a split second then. Urokodaki is in shock and brings Tanjiro in. "I don't know how to tell you this, kid, because I didn't believe the stories when I was told, but you may wield a special power. We need to start your concentration breathing training now." Tanjiro agrees, and they begin training, and he tries to learn water breathing, but seemingly can't get a hold of it. But during this training, he realizes that there is another breathing style he can use. Urokodaki tells him that there is something called time breathing that basically nobody knows, and basically nobody could use, but it must have been passed down within his family without Urokodaki really knowing. Tanjiro looks at a pocket watch and it glows for a split second once again. Tanjiro, you will need to learn how to make your own breathing forms, and this will be far from easy. Tanjiro then agrees and begins to train, creating various forms of time breathing. After about a year, Urokodaki then brought him to a massive boulder. If you want to participate in the final selection, your final challenge is to cut this boulder in half. Tanjiro is about to strike the boulder, but then realizes that if he slices this boulder, he would go into the final selection without completely mastering, the forms he currently knows of time breathing. He decides to train on his own for the next 6 months to a year, and eventually getting to the point where he knows he's ready for the final selection. Tanjiro approaches the boulder, and when he prepares himself to cut it in half, he sees Sabito and Makomo sitting on either side. He slices down, cutting the boulder in half, and he begins to cry. He walks back to his home and tells Urokodaki he did it. Kid, you could have done it 6 months ago. I'm proud that you took the extra time to hone your skills. Tanjiro hugs him and says that he saw them. Urokodaki slightly tears up as well and tells Tanjiro that he is ready to become a demon slayer, and now it's time for him to finish the final selection. The next morning, Tanjiro sets off, waving goodbye to Urokodaki. When he arrives, he sees various other potential demon slayers, and these 2 twin female proctors begin explaining the final selection. They all enter the final selection, in which they must survive in a demon-filled forest for about a week. Tanjiro walks in more focused than he's ever been in his life, knowing that this is exactly how Sabito and Makomo died, and he wants to carry their names on with him. He immediately is attacked by 2 demons, but in an instant they are dead. Using his first form, he stopped time for a split second and sliced both of their heads off, making it seem as if he killed them without even moving. Just like Sabito, he walked through the forest, the entire forest, saving others and killing every demon in sight, eventually leading him to the screams of another kid in the exam. Tanjiro runs over to see a giant monster chasing a kid. Come on, kid. Just meet your fate. Hello, hand demon. The hand demon turns toward Tanjiro in shock. Oh, you're one of Urokodaki's brats. I've killed so many of you. Yeah, I know. But that's why you die here with all the demons in this forest. Oh, a cocky one. Come on, let's fight then. The hand demon sends his arms at Tanjiro and he begins to dodge. Time breathing, 5th form, time duplicate. 2 Tanjiros begin scaling the hand demon at once. Now, this is for Sabito and Makomo. Time breathing, 2nd form, after image strike. The 2 Tanjiros then look like 4 Tanjiros as he slices through both sides of the hand demon's neck. Now, that was for all the demon slayers you killed. The head of the hand demon begins to cry, and Tanjiro kneels down and says that even with the blood on his hands, hopefully he finds some sort of grace in the afterlife. The rest of the week, Tanjiro defeats all of the demons in the forest that he could find, eventually getting to the end of the final selection. But he still only sees very few people left. The proctors then approach and begin saying congratulations, but then they are cut off by a boy. He is about to grab one of their faces, but out of nowhere he is back to where he once was in line. He keeps trying to get toward them, but seemingly he keeps getting teleported back, and eventually he gives up. The proctors then bring the ores and tell everyone to choose, in which Tanjiro is able to choose quickly using his sense of smell. He is about to leave, but a girl grabs his arm. She introduces herself as Aoi Kanzaki, and she tells him that she and the other girl over there was told to find a boy by the name of Tanjiro Kamado after the final selection. What's going on? She tells him that Tomioka wants to see him. Oh, Tomioka? Yeah, but I need to go check in with Urokodaki before I leave. She agrees, and when he begins to walk off, she follows. He tells her that she doesn't need to follow him, and she says then how will he get back to the Hashira mansion? He reluctantly agrees, and they trip back to Urokodaki's place. When he arrives, he is greeted with so much happiness from Urokodaki. I'm glad you're back safe, Tanjiro. Of course. Actually, Tomioka wants to meet with me. That's why this girl is with me. She exclaims that she isn't just some girl. She is Aoi Kanzaki. Tanjiro apologizes, and Urokodaki and him say their goodbyes. Do your best, Tanjiro. I will, I promise. Aoi takes Tanjiro to the Hashira mansion, and when they arrive, the Hashira are waiting. Tomioka steps up and walks over to Tanjiro. So you did it, huh, kid? I did. How have you been, Tomioka? Some of the Hashira are shocked at the fact that someone knows Tomioka, because he barely even talks to the other Hashira. So don't get me wrong, Tomioka. I'm glad to be here and to see you, but why did you want me to come? Tomioka then backs up and dashes at Tanjiro with his sword, and Tanjiro time skips past the sword strike. For the first time in years, according to the other Hashira, Tomioka smiles at the progress that basically to him his little brother has made. Sorry about that, Tanjiro. I wanted to see how far you've come, and it seems that Urokodaki was right about you having a special breathing. Tanjiro pulls out a pocket watch out of his pocket, and it begins to glow once again as he wraps it around his neck. The other Hashira asks what are they talking about, and the love Hashira asks what type of breathing are they talking about. In an instant, Tanjiro is standing in front of her with a smile on his face. It's called time breathing. I can speed up, slow down, and outright stop time for small intervals. Whoa, that's so cool! She begins jumping up and down in excitement. Tanjiro laughs, and the rest of the Hashira ask how they figured this breathing out. And Tanjiro tells them that, well, when he started training in water breathing, well, they realized that there was another power to be discovered, and it took him about 2 years to create the forms that he currently has. But also during just his regular training, he somehow stopped time without even knowing. They all are extremely surprised, but Tomioka tells Tanjiro he's proud of him, and that sooner rather than later, maybe he'll be the time-breathing Hashira, or the time Hashira. Tanjiro is then escorted to his room, and his ore is sent off to basically create his new sword. He sleeps through the night and wakes up in the morning. He is greeted by Tomioka, and they talk about the next step for him. Tomioka explains that he would like to see his progression, and he throws him a wooden sword, and they spar for about an hour. Tomioka tells him that he needs to learn some more breathing techniques, like more basic ones that some of the Hashira already know, but he's very strong nonetheless. Thanks, Tomioka. How does it feel to be a Hashira? I'm sure Sabito is very proud of you. It's fine, Tanjiro. I hope you are right about him being proud of me, though. Toward the end of the day, Tanjiro's sword finally arrives, changing into this white sword, and when he swings it, a silver glow gleams from it. Eventually, Tanjiro is given his first mission. He needs to go to a city that so-called never sleeps because there is a demon that roams around in the light of the night within the city. Tanjiro says his goodbyes and heads off. When he arrives, he proceeds to get some food and starts eating until he smells something extremely foul. He runs over and finds the source of the smell, but this demon didn't seem like any normal demon. He grabs the man's shoulder, and when he turns, he looks like a normal person. Time breathing, third form, time warp. Now, what is this? What are you exactly? I know you are a demon, but no normal demon. Oh, interesting. You must be a demon slayer. I have heard about you. The one that can control time itself. Like I said, who are you? Well, many know me as Muzan, but I prefer the Demon King. And you must be Tanjiro Kamado. Your breathing style is very impressive. Tanjiro flinches at the idea of a Demon King. Now Tanjiro, what's the plan? Attempt to kill me here, which will lead to many dead, and maybe even yourself. Or we can cut our losses and walk away. Tanjiro puts down his time warp. Sorry, sir. I thought you were someone else. It's okay, young one. Tanjiro walks away, but as he does so, he says, don't even think about sending any demons because they'll just die. Muzan slightly flinches at the remark, but just keeps walking. Tanjiro goes back to his food, but another demon stands near him, and in an instant he time skips in front of the demon, but the demon tells him that he isn't here to fight. Tanjiro puts his sword down and asks what does he want then. I'm Yoshiro, and Lady Tamiya wants to speak with you. Why would I want to meet with a demon? Another demon, actually. Yoshiro explains that if the information is not useful, he can kill him. They both walk to a hidden house, and Lady Tamiya greets Tanjiro. Hello, Tanjiro. I may have something you are interested in. And what is that exactly? I know a way to kill Muzan. Tanjiro looks on in shock. And how is that? Lady Tamiya reveals that with Tanjiro's blood and the blood of the strongest demons called the 12 Kizuki, she should be able to create an antidote that will cure a demon, and in Muzan's case, killing him. Tanjiro looks on in shock. Okay, what do you want me to do exactly? Tamiya explains that she needs some of his blood, obviously, and provide her with a small dose of the Kizuki, some of the 12 Kizuki's blood as well. Tanjiro is reluctant, but does so, giving her some of his own blood, obviously giving her enough where it wouldn't kill him anyways, and if she was lying, I mean, he would just kill her. Tamiya thanks him and tells him that they will be in touch about the progress, and she gives him a syringe and a vial to fill with the blood of the high-ranked demons. He nods his head and leaves her room, or leaves her home, and isn't even attacked by any demons, with Muzan sticking to what Tanjiro said about not even thinking about sending any demons over to him just to die. On his way out, Tanjiro's crow comes flying down, claiming that in a nearby mansion there are demons that need to be killed. As Tanjiro headed over to the area, he came across a boy with yellow hair pleading to a girl to be his wife. Please, I'm gonna die soon. I just wanted you to be my wife. Tanjiro grabs the boy, asking for his name. My name's Zenitsu, but why are you taking me? You're going on a mission with me, come on. Zenitsu begins to cry, but as they arrive at the mansion, 3 other demon slayers are about to enter. They claim that there was a change of plans, and that they will handle this, and that it's urgent for Tanjiro to head to Natagumo Mountain. Tanjiro tells them to be careful and brings Zenitsu along with him to a massive mountain. Wait, I don't want to go up there! Don't be like that. You won't ever get a wife acting like that. Zenitsu then gained some courage after hearing this once again, and they made their way up the mountain, finding many demon slayers strung up in the trees. They look ahead to see what seems to be a man with a boar head running around, screaming words they really can't understand, and is throwing demon slayers up into trees. Hey, mister, what is going on here? Don't worry, your lord and savior, Inosuke, is on the job. Tanjiro stares at Inosuke with a blank stare, being very confused. Tanjiro ignores what he just said and heads toward the smell of another demon, finally running into a puppet demon, it seems like, that has no head. What the hell is that thing? Tanjiro charges at it, slicing halfway through its neck. Don't worry, your savior is here. Inosuke then slices the other side of the demon, killing it. Inosuke then laughs and runs off to where another demon was. Tanjiro just shakes his head and begins searching through the rest of the forest, till he hears a demon talking to his so-called sister. Look, if you don't want to be useful, then go. The demon is cut off by Tanjiro slicing his sister's head off. Well, seems like she wasn't useful after all. The demon is shocked by it, but not afraid. And he curses Tanjiro, saying that he will regret interfering with his family and his forest. A giant web-like cage surrounds Tanjiro, but in an instant, he escapes from the cage. Now, you are strong. You must be part of the 12 Kizuki. The demon then speaks. Of course, I am Rui, but He is cut off by Tanjiro being right in front of him in an instant. Why did you stop talking? I mean, did I surprise you? The demon jumps back, and as he tries to attack Tanjiro, a black surrounding area engulfs them both. What are you doing? How are you doing this? It's one of my breathing forms. Surprised you didn't know about my powers already. I mean, from Muzan at least. But I guess he's kind of a shitty boss, huh? Rui looks in shock that this slayer has encountered Muzan, and he's alive. Before Rui could even react, Tanjiro slices his head off while in his time warp. The surrounding area begins to basically begin moving again and crumbles, as if they were in some pocket-like dimension. Tanjiro helps clean up the rest of the forest as Shinobu and Tomioka arrive, and they bring everyone to the Hashira mansion. Tanjiro is then told to basically attend the meeting with the master of all the demon slayers. When he arrives, the Wind Hashira protests that some kids should not be here. It's fine in my book. I would hope you would understand. The Wind Hashira then bows and apologizes. I would like Tanjiro to speak about everything that has happened to him, well, at least so far. Tanjiro is shocked, but then explains his encounter with Muzan and with Lady Tamiya, and that she is working on some sort of a cure for demons. They all are shocked, and the master suggests that Shinobu should provide assistance, and if she sees fit that Tamiya is trying something underhanded, she has permission to kill her. Shinobu doesn't protest, and the rest of the Hashira basically ask how could he survive an encounter with Muzan, and Tanjiro just shrugs, and most of the Hashira just facepalm. The master then instructs Tanjiro to continue his training for now, and that he currently needs to learn more about his breathing techniques, and learn more breathing techniques in general. And that once that this occurs, they can evaluate if he's ready for a Hashira position. Tomioka, who never smiles, actually slightly does, and asks the master to allow him to continue Tanjiro's training. Everyone agrees, and Tanjiro begins training himself. And then eventually training Zenitsu, who, is pretty mad at Tanjiro still that he left him in the forest, and also Inosuke, who still thinks that he is this leader, and that Tanjiro is helping him train, and it's his sole duty to do so. After some time though, Tanjiro now knows concentration breathing constant and various other techniques. And after a couple months, Tanjiro gets a mission to go along with another Hashira by the name of Rengoku to a train that is infested with demons, and he does so alone, not bringing anyone along, because both Inosuke and Zenitsu are really still not fully recovered and aren't exactly done with training with Kanao. He arrives at the train questioning what it is, but eventually enters and searches for Rengoku until he comes across a cart that he's in. Yumai! 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 Tanjiro approaches the extremely loud man. Hello Rengoku. Oh, Tanjiro! Good to see you here. Would you like a bento? Tanjiro slightly laughs and takes one. They sit and are basically talking for a while about the train until a demon appears. Tanjiro quickly dispatches of it, and Rengoku is shocked. Wow, you didn't even move, Tanjiro. You are truly worthy of a potential Hashira spot. Yeah, thanks, Rengoku. But I did move. It's just my time breathing that allows me to, well, pause time very briefly. Rengoku is still impressed, and as they continue talking, someone approaches and stamps their train ticket. 5 seconds later, both of them are out cold. Tanjiro then wakes up in an odd place, but then he realizes that it's Urokodaki's house, and he walks in to see Tomioka and Sabito eating with Urokodaki, and his eyes grow wide. Oh, hello, Tanjiro. Urokodaki is cut off and Tanjiro goes running out of the house. This isn't real. It doesn't make sense. Sabito, he's gone. Tanjiro begins running through the forest until he finds something very weird. A barrier? Tanjiro then sees a spirit form in front of him. Sabito, that's you? The spirit smiles and then disappears, but Tanjiro realizes what he must do. He stabs himself and he wakes up. He sees multiple kids trying to wrap a rope around their arms, connecting them to Rengoku and Tanjiro, but he quickly stands up and they try to stab him, but he knocks them out very quickly. He tries to wake up Rengoku, but it's no use. He jumps to the roof of the train and begins running to the front to stop the train, but he sees a demon standing on the front. Who the hell are you? Why would you want to wake up? You could have been happy once again. Tanjiro, hearing this, is pissed. Time breathing. First form. Time skip slash. Tanjiro in an instant closes the gap, slicing the head of the demon off. But the demon just sinks back into the train. No way. This demon, it's the train. Tanjiro slices into the conductor's quarters and almost gets stabbed by the conductor, but knocks him out. He opens a panel, seeing the neck of the demon. He's about to slice it, but gets hit by a tentacle-like thing, getting thrown through the train. Tanjiro tries over and over to time skip past, but realizes that it won't be that easy because of how many things are hitting him. He decides to try something he's been working on. Time breathing, fifth form, multi-time duplicate. 5 Tanjiros then appear and begin breaking through the defense of the demon, eventually killing it. He helps evacuate everyone, and with a now awakened Rengoku, and they both sit down pretty tired. You did well, very well, kid. I appreciate the save. Don't kid yourself. You could have done that too. Rengoku pats him on the shoulder until a voice is heard. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. They both look up to see Upper 3, Akaza, in front of them. Rengoku stands ready to fight and tells Tanjiro to stay put, but he refuses. Come on, how could I let you fight alone if I was supposed to be a future Hashira? Rengoku smiles and they both rush at Akaza. Initially, Akaza is beating them pretty badly until Tanjiro forces himself to go past his exhaustion and begins time skipping. This gives them the upper hand, until Akaza begins predicting his movement. Akaza then strikes Tanjiro in the shoulder, breaking his arm and parts of his collarbone. Rengoku tells him to stay down and try to recover. Akaza and Rengoku's fight was a blaze of excellence, but Rengoku really stood no chance. Tanjiro, knowing this, on a last-ditch effort, and if the rest of his strength, he used a form far beyond its limits, creating a new form from his fourth form, flowing time. Time breathing. Sixth form. Time acceleration. He slams his sword into the ground. The sky seemed to speed up, and during the fight, the sun appeared. It appeared to be coming out a lot sooner than expected. Rengoku then sliced the leg off Akaza as he panicked to sprint out of there before the sun could kill him. But how is the sun already Rengoku cuts himself off and looks at Tanjiro. Tanjiro smiles and passes out, but as he does, the original time was set once again, and the sun just began to rise at that moment. Rengoku is shocked. Tanjiro just tricked the demon to thinking that the sun was already coming up that instant and saved him. Thank you, Tanjiro Kamado.
I don't wanna waste what's left.